All right, to solve this quadratic by graphing, first of all, we notice that it is equal to 0. So we want to see, where does the left side of this equation, for what x values will the left side of the equation equal a y value of 0? So what we're going to do is type this equation into Desmos, but instead of setting it equal to 0, we're going to set it equal to y, and then we'll look on the graph at where it's equal to 0 as it crosses the x-axis. So I'll put in y equals x squared, and you should all do this too on your own Desmos for the practice of it. So we have y equals x squared minus 4x minus 45. And so you can see, where is it crossing at 0? Well, 0 is the x-axis. So I can see right here at -5 and at 9 is where it's crossing at a y value of 0. It's where it's crossing the x-axis. So without all of that algebra, you could have solved this one and seen that the answers for x would be -5 and 9. And those are called the x-intercepts. So there are...
You put -5 and +5?
-5 or 9 is over here. Can you see where I'm touching the graph? And it's coming up at 9, 0. Okay, and it's crossing the x-axis at -5. Now, some problems, it won't come out with an integer answer. It'll be it might be even an irrational number or a repeating decimal or something, and you may still have to solve using factoring or the quadratic formula or some other way algebraically. But on the other hand, it might be a pretty simple problem like this one, where all you have to do is put it in the graphing calculator and boom, there's your answer. No factoring required. You can also use this to double check your answer. Even if you had an answer that was a repeating decimal, you could tell if you were close. You could tell if your fraction was close. Okay, now, just like with the linear equation, we can check and see if our answer is correct. So let's go ahead and replace our x values with -5 and see if it comes out equal to 0. So -5 squared minus 4 times -5 minus 45, and voila, there it is, y equals 0. Okay, and then we can check our answer of 9 and see if that one comes out to be 0. There we have it as well. The y equals 0 when the x is equal to 9. Okay, so just notice the strategy that we used here. First, we replaced the 0 with a y so that we could graph it. And then we saw that that parabola intersected the x-axis at -5, x equaled -5, and x equaled 9. And that was where the y equaled 0, which is what we have right here. Okay, so this was how we could solve a quadratic just by using the graphing calculator.